This is not a comet from our solar system. It fell in from interstellar space at 221,000 kilometers an hour, too fast for the Sun to hold. Its path is not a loop, it is a line, in, around, and gone forever. It is a piece of another star's family of worlds, quite possibly older than our own. And we even checked whether it was a spaceship. On the 1st of July 2025, a survey telescope in the Chilean desert photographed the same patch of sky 4 times. Something faint had moved between the frames. By morning, the alarm was quiet but real. The orbit made no sense. Every comet we had ever known is tied to the Sun. This thing was not even slowing down properly. Astronomers measure how stretched an orbit is. Past a certain number, it isn't an orbit anymore. It's an escape. This object shattered the record. They named it 3I, the third interstellar visitor ever caught. The first one, 8 years earlier, had nearly broken astronomy. In 2017, Oumuamua tumbled past the Sun and sped up, with no visible tail to push it. A Harvard astronomer published a serious possibility: sunlight pressing on a thin, manufactured sail. The world's telescopes came back with a calmer verdict: no compelling evidence to favor an alien explanation. But the object left before anyone could be certain, and the argument never fully died. That is the trap when something behaves strangely. Dismiss it, and you risk missing the biggest discovery in history. Chase it, and you feed the hype machine. Science chose a third option: actually look. Less than 24 hours after the discovery went public, a field of radio dishes in California was already turning toward the visitor. What they heard would take almost a year to untangle. While the dishes listened, the telescopes looked. They never saw the surface. The nucleus stayed wrapped in its own dust, somewhere between a few hundred meters and a few kilometers across. We measured the breath, never the body. And the breath was wrong. Its dust streamed toward the Sun. Not technology, thermodynamics. The sunlit side is the hot side, so the day face boils first, and its heaviest grains drift sunward, like smoke falling back on a fire. Observers even reported the jet wobbling on a 7-hour rhythm, the signature, they argue, of a slowly tumbling core. At the end of October, it rounded the Sun, on the far side from us, moving faster than ever. It never came closer to Earth than the Sun itself. Then, warming, it finally began to speak, in chemistry. In December, the Webb telescope read its gases and found methane, the first ever detected on an interstellar visitor. The mix was strange, unusually rich in carbon dioxide, with few similar analogues among our own comets. This ice did not freeze here. It froze in the planet-forming disk of another star, a place like this. Trace its path backward, and it climbs out of the galaxy's thick disk, the neighborhood of the oldest stars. The models give it a 2/3 chance of being older than the Sun, perhaps 7 billion years adrift. A statistical estimate, but if it's right, this is the oldest comet ever seen. Its home star cannot be identified. It may have changed beyond recognition or died long before the Earth existed. We have never held a sample of another solar system. One just flew through ours, delivered free. And the whole time, the oldest question was still open. In June, the answer came back. The California array had watched it across the radio spectrum, hour after hour. 74 million signals came in. Software sieved them down to 211 worth a human's eyes. Every single one traced back to us, our satellites, our electronics, our own noise. The search uncovered no evidence of extraterrestrial technology. If anything on that object was transmitting, it was fainter than a kitchen appliance. China's giant dish listened independently. Nothing. And that silence is the best thing that could have happened. A spaceship we could have imagined, we build those ourselves. A pristine 7-billion-year-old piece of another solar system, that we could never make, only catch. It is leaving right now. This month, it crosses the distance of Saturn's orbit, still running at nearly 60 kilometers a second. No spacecraft we have can catch it. It will slip back into the dark almost exactly the way it came. But here is the real ending. It was the third in 8 years. And that number is about to change. High in the Chilean Andes, a new survey telescope has begun the deepest-running census of the night sky ever attempted. Every few nights, it photographs the whole southern sky, then compares each frame against the last, looking for anything that moved. It was built to catch exactly the kind of thing that almost slipped past us in July. Estimates for what it will find run from a few interstellar visitors a year to several dozen. Which means the first 3 were never rare. They were simply the ones we happened to be looking at. The galaxy has been quietly trading pieces of itself the whole time. We only just started watching, and 2 of our own machines are already out there, coasting between the stars. Someday, at someone else's sun, the strange visitor will be ours. Because worlds don't just visit. Next door to us, a planet once erased an entire first generation of them. Ours.